Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment, become comfortable in a nice seated position on a block or cushion, towel, something that allows your spine and the back of your neck to sit nice and long and tall, opening up your chest and opening up your diaphragm and opening up your heart. Let's gently close our eyes and soften our thoughts. Soften our eyes. Soften our shoulders. And soften our heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. And it's a day about love. And we'll start the day about love with a quote from Rumi. Rumi said, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it." And that could be true for loving yourself as well as loving other people. So I think that's a great quote, because we sometimes take love at face value, and it actually is much deeper process inside. So for our meditation, we'll do a process. In sometimes for love, we build up mental barriers. It is said that you take many journeys in life, but perhaps the most difficult is the 18 inches between your head and your heart. That's the journey. So today we're going to do a guided meditation that has been around since Buddha. It is still used today by many, many people, including the Dalai Lama. The loving kindness meditation guides you on that journey from your heart, from your head to your heart. It opens the heart and cultivates love and compassion for ourselves and others by sending well wishes and positive thoughts. So find a nice, comfortable seated position. I'm going to read excerpts from them. I'm not going to do the entire loving kindness meditation. I'm reading it from the Book of Joy that was written by the Dalai Lama and the late Desmond Tutu, Reverend Desmond Tutu. What a funny guy Desmond Tutu was. Just such a great sense of humor. So find a nice, comfortable seated position. And if you like to close your eyes, you may. And just relax and think of um, these words as I read them. And again, it's an excerpt from the whole thing. So we'll start by thinking of someone you love very much, a relative or friend, or even a pet. Try to either see their face in your mind's eye or feel their presence and notice how your heart feels when you think of them. Feel whatever arises. If you feel warmth, tenderness, or affection, stay with these feelings. If not, just stay with the thought of your loved one. Silently say the following lines. May you be free from suffering. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you find peace and joy. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, imagine a warm light coming from the center of your heart, carrying your love to your loved one and bringing them peace and joy. Reflect on the fact that just like all people, you want to be happy and free of suffering. Place your hand on your heart and notice feelings of warmth, tenderness, and caring toward yourself. Silently offer the following phrases. May I be free from suffering. May I be healthy. May I be happy. May I find peace and joy. Reflect on the fact that everyone on the planet has the fundamental desire to be happy and to be free of suffering. Fill your heart with a desire that all be free of suffering. Perhaps even someone with whom you have a difficult relationship. And silently repeat these phrases. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be happy. May all beings find peace and joy. Allow your feelings of compassion and concern to fill your heart and feel the warmth, tenderness, and caring. Radiate this feeling of compassion out to the world. Alrighty, we'll begin our asana practice. we're going to try to incorporate as much as possible about the heart, about love. It's appropriate today. So we're going to start with a little bit of shoulder shrugs, just kind of loosening ourselves up and gently rolling them one direction. And just relaxing into that movement. And then rolling them in the opposite direction. And then we're going to bring our fingertips to the side, do some of our sun breaths and chest openers. So we'll take a deep inhale, bringing our hands up slowly till they reach overhead. The palms come together. And then exhale, bringing the hands down to heart center. And then we'll bring the hands apart, expanding the heart open, and just bringing the hands back as what's comfortable for you, really leading with your heart. And then we'll bring the hands back together on the exhale, softening the heart. Then inhale up, overhead, and relax your hands down to the mat on the exhale. And we'll do that a couple more times. So inhale up. Nice big inhale. Then a nice big exhale, bringing your hands down to heart center. And then opening your hands to each side, bringing your heart forward. And then exhale, closing the hands in front of your heart, softening it. And inhale up. And exhale down. And inhale up again, one last time. Exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale up. And exhale down. Okay. I'm going to bring our hands up to shoulder height. I'm going to bring the left arm over the right arm, crossing them at the elbows, and then bringing your hands to your shoulders. And we'll tuck our chin down toward our chest, and then give ourselves a nice big hug. Really feel that. Really feel your hands around your shoulders, hugging yourself, chin to chest, just like you're hugging your best friend. And then we'll open up our arms to shoulder height. And then we'll do that again, crossing the right arm over the left, bringing the hands to the shoulders, tucking the chin to the chest. And again, a nice big hug. And then we'll release. We'll come up onto our hands and knees. We'll come into tabletop position with our wrists right below our shoulders. Fingers spread apart, hands gently pressing into the mat, creating that space between the shoulders and the ears. Knees are right below the hips, navel's tucked to the spine. And we'll send our nose over to the right side for a head turn. And then gently back to center, and then sweeping it over to the left. Then back to center, back to the right. Nice, slow, gentle movements. Back to center, over to the left, back to center, over to the right one last time, back to center, and then over to the left one last time, and back to center. Then we'll go into a few cat-cows. So we'll exhale into cat pose by rolling our head down, tailbone comes down, spine stretches, the back of the heart comes to the surface, and then we'll lift our head and tailbone up, sending our gaze straight ahead for cow. And back to arching back, head comes down, tail comes down. Really stretching, finding that back of the heart. And then lifting our head and tailbone up, sending the gaze straight ahead, opening up our chest, opening up our heart. One last time, arching our back into cat. And then inhaling, lifting our head, tailbone up for cow. And then where our hands are, we're going to bring our elbows down to the mat, extending our fingers forward. Forearms are underneath the forearms or on the mat. And then we'll just kind of walk our knees back to bring our forehead down to the mat into extended puppy. Yeah. Just bringing your forehead down, expanding your chest toward the mat. And then bring your knees back to tabletop. Bring your hands back under your shoulders. And we'll extend first we'll kickstand the left foot out so that it's sitting outside the mat, and then extend the right leg all the way down to the end of the mat. Left wrist is right under the left shoulder, and we'll sweep our right hand all the way up to the sky. And if you're able to, just keep that hand moving toward the back, really opening up your chest and opening up your back as far as what's comfortable for you. And then bringing that hand back down. And we'll do that again, sweeping it up slowly, maybe following your hand with your eyes, watching it go and extend backwards. You're really feeling that opening of your chest, opening of your heart. And then we'll bring that hand back down. Back to the tabletop, and we'll do that on the other side. So kickstand the right foot out. Send the left foot down to the end of the mat. Right wrist is right below the right shoulder. And then sweeping the left hand all the way up to the sky, and then some. Just keep rolling it back to your chest is nice and open. Heart's open. And then bringing it back down. Mat. And then sweeping the hand once again all the way up. And as far back as what's comfortable. And bringing it back down. Come back to tabletop. Tuck the toes under. Walk our hands back, rolling up onto the balls of our feet. And then pressing down, coming up to mountain pose. Toes are facing the straight edge of the mat. We'll lift the toes up off the mat, spreading them apart as far as possible. And slowly bringing them back down, and then lifting our heels up off the mat. And then bringing our heels down, really feeling that connection to the earth, Mother Earth, that nice grounding feeling. And then for the other part of mountain pose, the essentials of good posture. So our legs are nice and straight and strong with a gentle flex at all times in our knees. Navel's tucked to our spine. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Spine and back of the neck sit nice and long and tall. Chin is tucked back ever so slightly. Crown of the head reaches up to the sky. Just feel this connection, this ground, being grounded to the earth. Having everything open and alive. And then we'll sweep our hands up over our head. And then sending our hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. We'll bring our hands to our shins. Nice, long, flat back of the neck. Gaze sent straight down. And then dropping the crown of our head down toward the mat. And sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. And as they come up, we're going to come up onto our tippy toes. And then slowly we'll lower our hands and lower our heels back down. We'll do this a couple times. So again, sweeping our hands up. We bring our hands up over our heads. We're going to come up onto our tippy toes. Just stay there. And then slowly come back down. Bringing our heels back down to the mat. And one last time, sweeping our hands up and overhead. And then back down. Slowly lowering the heels to the mat and then bringing our hands all the way down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. Inhale, hands come to the shins for half forward fold, nice flat back. And crown of the head drops down toward the mat. And sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. We're going to interlace our fingers and have our index finger pointing up to the sky. And then we'll just tip our torso over to the right, popping our left hip to the left. And then back up again. And we'll tilt the other way. And then back up again. One more time in each direction. Over to the right. And back up again. And over to the left. And back up again. And then we'll release our hands and bring them all the way down to the mat again, bending our knees as we go. And inhale, bringing our hands to our shins, nice flat back again. And then dropping the crown of our head down toward the mat. And sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Bringing our hands up together. And then we're going to lower our hands in front of us to shoulder height. And we'll do what I call the 180s. And typically we send one hand onto our shoulder, but today, being Valentine's Day, we're going to send it to our heart. So we're going to take the right hand first and make a nice semicircle, 180 degrees, bringing it around the back. And the left hand comes to our heart. Once you reach the back, just pause there for a moment and see if you can feel your heart beating with your left hand. And then we'll bring the right hand back in that semicircle format to join the left hand in front. And then we'll do that on the other side. Sweeping the left hand around in that semicircle, following it with our eyes, bringing the right hand to our heart. And then bringing that left hand back again to the front. Lift our hands up overhead and then bringing them back down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. And inhaling up, nice flat back for half forward fold. And then sending the crown of our head down toward the mat. And we'll sweep our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And palms come to the back of the hips for a supported back bend. Your feet are about hip width apart. Shoulders are really relaxed, rolled back. Palms of your hands are on the back of your hips with the fingertips pointing down. Tucking the chin to the chest, we'll just kind of send our shoulders back till you find that sweet spot where you can breathe nice, even breaths of inhale and exhale, same length. And then we'll come back up to the center. We'll do a few more breaths. We'll just sweep our hands up overhead. And when our hands come together, instead of palms come together, we're going to make that heart shape. So I think it looks better this way, but you can look down and see that heart there. So when we bring our hands together up overhead, big inhale, bring that heart, hands to the heart shape. And then we'll bring that heart shape down to our heart. And gather up love and then send it back up to the sky and then spread that love all around. So we'll do that one more time. Bringing our hands up overhead. When they reach each other, Bring them fingertips into a heart shape. Bring that heart shape down to your heart. Fill it with love and then send it up to the sky and then disperse it all around the world. Great. Then we're going to start the rest of our awesome practice. Sweeping our hands up overhead. We'll bring our hands back down to the earth. And we'll extend the right foot back, coming into runner's lunge. So the left knee is right over the left ankle. Right hand's on the mat. We're going to sweep our left hand up to the sky. So runner's lunge with a twist. And then bring that left hand back down to the mat. Then we come up to a high lunge. So we're going to sweep our hands, get situated. You can actually pivot your back foot down if that gives you more stability. Come up to the high lunge. Bring our hands down to shoulder height. And cross the right arm over the left arm. Bringing your hands to your shoulders and giving yourself a nice hug. We'll release that and bring our hands back down to the mat. Send the left foot back to the right foot. Coming into plank pose. And then we'll lift the right foot up. Send it over, crossing over the left leg, touching the right toes down to the mat. And then bringing the foot back so it's alongside the left foot. Back to plank pose. We'll do that one more time. Lift the right leg up. Cross it over the left leg. Touch the toes down. And then bring it back to plank pose. Then we're going to bring ourselves down to the mat. Knees, chest, chin, which is actually what I'm going to do today. Or chaturanga. So knees, chest, chin. Coming into prone mountain pose. We're going to lift our hands up off the mat. Lift our chin and chest up for baby cobra. And then bring the hands back down to the mat. Lift the chin and chest, pressing down into the hands, coming up to regular cobra. And then back down. And then we're going to come into, what is this? Upward dog. I can't believe I forgot the name. Upward dog. So we're going to keep our hands alongside, underneath our shoulders. Tops of our feet are in the mat. And then extend the arms fully, coming up to up dog. And then flip our toes over and come into downward dog. And we'll walk out here for a few moments. We'll lift our right leg up to the sky and bring it back down and pedal out. Moment. Lift the right leg up to the sky again and back down and pedal out. And then lift the right leg up one more time. This time we're going to bend our heel back toward our hips and point our knee to the right. And then come back down to downward dog. And then we're going to come down to our knees. So Here I'm going to give you an option. You can do for the next pose, do the modified plank, which we did earlier. Kickstanding the left foot out beyond the mat, extending the right foot down to the end of the mat, sweeping the hand up and over, extending as far back as what's comfortable. So that's option one. Or you can go back to downward dog, back to having your leg open, hip opener, and then coming into what's called wild thing. So we're gonna drop our right foot in back of us, pivoting on our left foot, sending the left foot down to the end of the mat, opening up our chest for wild thing, and then back to downward dog, and back to tabletop. So your choice. Or you can do both. What we did. Alrighty, so from tabletop, we're going to tuck our toes under, lift our hips up, come back to downward dog, and slowly walk our feet to our hands, and then sweep our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together, and palms come to heart center. You remember that song from 60s, 70s called Wild Thing? You make my heart sing. That's where we're going today on Valentine's Day. So let's try that on the other side. We'll sweep our hands up overhead. Bring our hands down to the mat. Bending our knees as we go, and then extending the left leg back, coming into runner's lunge. And then the left hand, sweeping the right hand all the way up to the sky. Runner's lunge with a twist, and then bringing it back down. And then we're going to come into the high lunge or warrior one, whichever your preference is. So we'll sweep our hands up and get nice and stable. And then bring our arms down to shoulder height, crossing the left arm over the right, bringing the hands to the shoulders and giving ourselves a nice hug. And then we'll release our hands back down to the mat, sending the right foot to join the left foot, coming into plank pose. And then we'll lift the left leg up, cross it over the right, touching the left toes down to the mat, and then bringing it left foot back to plank pose. We'll do that again. Lift the left leg up, cross over the right, touch the toes down, and then bring it back to down or to plank pose. And then we'll come down, knees, chest, chin. So we'll bring the knees down, chest down, chin down. And lift our hands off the mat, lifting our chin and chest up for baby cobra. And then bringing the hands back down to the mat, right beneath the shoulders, elbows tucked to the side. We'll lift our chin and chest up, coming into regular cobra. And then back down. And then we're going to go into upward dog or up dog. We'll extend our hands and arms fully, coming up onto the tops of our feet, and then flip our feet over and come into downward dog. So we'll paddle out here for a moment. And then lift our left leg up to the sky and then bring it back down, pedal out. And then lift the left leg again, up to the sky and back down and pedal out. And then lift our leg up to the sky, bending the knee so that the heel comes toward the hips and pointing the knee to the left side. Three-legged dog with hip opener. And then bringing that back, foot back down and bringing our knees back down. And again, you can choose your wild thing here. We'll kick the right foot out of the mat, kickstand, sending the left foot back down to the end of the mat. Left hand sweeps, open, bringing it to the sky and further back. Or you can join me in the wild thing, coming up, downward dog, sending the left leg up into the hip opener, and then sending that left foot back of me down to the mat, sending the right foot down and opening up the chest. And then coming back down to tabletop. And then we'll tuck our toes under, coming up to downward dog, and slowly walk our feet up to our hands for forward fold. And then sweeping our hands all the way up overhead. Arms come together and palms come to heart center. Well done, everyone. We'll bring our pinky toes to the edges of the mat, tucking our heels in at a 45-degree angle. Hands come to heart center, and we'll lower our hips down to the mat, coming into a wide-legged squat, elbows resting on the inside of the knees. And then we'll come down on the mat. And next pose, you can do it without a towel, but my favorite way of doing it is with a towel. I have the towel kind of folded so that there's a long ribbon there. I'm going to do reclined goddess. So we'll bring our soles of our feet together, knees come out to each side, and you have the towel. You just lay it on top of your feet and then reach under your shins and grab the ends of the towel and pull them in toward you. So it cocoons your feet and supports your leg. So it's just, now it's open, but there's a support system there. And I love the feeling how my feet are nice and cozy. It's like one big slipper that they're sitting in. So then we'll just kind of slowly roll down and come into that goddess pose. Place the right hand on your tummy and your left hand on your heart. And again, just for a few moments, let's just feel the beating of our heart. Nice and strong, steady. we're gonna release this pose. If you have a towel, you can move it to the side. Bring your knees to your chest. Give them a nice hug. Rocking back and forth, massage your lower back. Then we'll walk our hands down our legs to our feet and hold on to the outer edges of our feet, lifting the soles of our feet up to the sky and coming into happy baby. Nothing more loving than to have a happy baby. Just hearts, hearts, hearts. And then we're going to release our feet, our hands from our feet, and we take our legs and just kind of keep them in that position and extend our arms up to the sky and roll over to one side. I'm going to roll over to my right side so that it's as if my legs are sitting in a chair, kind of that 90-degree angle. My arms come straight out from the shoulder. Palms are together. And then we're going to open the left hand, sweeping it to the sky, and then sweeping it over to the other side. And you follow it with your eyes. And then we'll take that left hand and bring it back over to join the right hand. And we'll do that a couple times. So again, just open your hands up to the sky and then bring them all the way over to the other side. Shoulder height, following it with your gaze if that's comfortable. And then back, bringing the hands together, joining them back together again. And one last time, sweeping it up and over. And then sweeping it back. And then we're going to bring our legs to center. Bring our arms up to the sky again, and then tip over to the other side. Woo. The legs again are in a seated kind of 90-degree angle, and arms come out at shoulder length or shoulder height. And then we'll sweep the right hand up and over. And then bringing it back. Slowly connecting the two hands together. And then sweeping it up again, sending it along its way over to the other side. And then back again. Joining the hands together. And then one last time, sweeping it up and over, all the way down, and then back up again. Bringing the hands back together again. Then we'll bring our legs back to center and extend the feet down to the end of the mat. And prepare for Shavasana. Sending the heels into each corner, letting your feet just relax. Arms come alongside you, palms facing up. Just a little bit angle out. Take a few deep breaths and just like sigh and release yourself into the mat. And just relax. Place a gentle smile on your lips. And today's poem I have for you is by Robert Frost. I'm not sure what the title is. Maybe it's simply a quote of his. Suddenly, quietly, you realize that from this moment forth, you will no longer walk through this life alone. Like a new sun, this awareness arises within you, freeing you from fear, opening your life. It is the beginning of love and the end of all that came before.